But first, AITA for making my husband pay rent by deleted. Yeah, this has been taken off the internet.
He rescued it from like the annals of AITA.
Yes, thank you, auto moderator who duplicates every post. I grew up working class, and nobody in my family has owned land since my great grandparents immigrated here. But due to privilege and luck, wow, this person is they know who they are. I was able to buy my first house at 24. My God. I got a near full scholarship to university, got a job, saved a lot, and won a large sum of money in the lottery. Good Lord.
Okay, you asshole. You won the fucking lottery. Just say that.
Yeah. Like, you're not privileged, bro. You just won the lottery. I don't think that's one of the things. They're not like white people, wealthy people, and lottery winners.
Exactly.
You are a lucky son of a gun. With that money, I paid my mom's debt, donated some to charity, invested a little, and bought a modest 3-bedroom house. It was a fixer-upper, and I'm still paying the bond and for ongoing renovations. I was able to pay it because I had a job and 2 tenants in the other rooms. I charge them a low amount because we're friends. I'm still paying the bond. Bond on a house? That was a loan.
I don't know what country they're in.
I got married last year. My husband's from a wealthy family and has a job that pays 1.5 times what mine does. When my tenants decided to move overseas, he moved in. We decided it'd be best if we were alone together in the house, i.e. no other tenants. He said he'll pay rent to make up for the money I'd be missing out on. He pays the same amount as what both tenants paid. We share the main room and each have our own office. I'm sorry, but how America is that? You each have your own office?
Love
Good
that.
Lord.
It's just probably. Wait, did you say how America is it?
Yeah, it's like how many rooms are in this house?
I know, they're probably like in Georgia and they paid like $5 for the house. I'm very jealous.
Rent, you're gonna be careful, Sarah, with your exaggerations. You're gonna offend my dad.
I know, right? I lived in Georgia. It's okay. I understand the housing market there very well.
The rent he pays me is only about half of what he paid in the house share he lived in before he moved in with me. On a video call with his parents the other night, they asked if we were coping with expenses as both of our employers/side businesses are impacted. We said we're fine, and somehow it came up that he pays me rent. My in-laws were fuming. They said it's cruel to make your spouse pay rent because what's mine is his. He doesn't own the house, only me, and I pay for the taxes, bond, and renovation costs. Okay, bond must be
What is a bond? The mortgage? Okay.
That means mortgage. My husband explained why it was necessary for me to charge rent and reminded them that he doesn't own the house and would pay far more rent elsewhere. I cried and the call ended. My husband's happy to pay the rent. He's the one who suggested it. He thinks his parents are being ridiculous, but what my in-laws said made me feel really awful. So I want to ask here, do you think I'm TA for making him pay rent?
You would be the asshole for making your husband pay rent if you owned your house outright, but this is not really what's happening here. He's just contributing to the mortgage, which I feel like any spouse would do.
I mean, I don't even know if I fully agree with you. If you own your house and, your spouse then moves in with you, you've got to agree. That's really what it always comes down to.
Yeah, I just mean if she wasn't still paying off the mortgage, like, I think yes, would be semi-weird to be like, all right, you have to pay me $1,000 a month to live here. But like, I assume they'd be splitting bills and stuff.
Right. I mean, she has property taxes. She might have other expenses. But yeah, if they're married, I would generally say like that's a little weird. But in the end, I think this person, I think these in-laws are assholes. And I think that like they clearly have a system that works. Cameron M says it's not rent. It's the expenses you both share as a married couple. You call it rent because you don't want to let go of the fact that you earned it, and it's great that you did earn it, but the fact that you can't now share it with your husband says something. If you were full-heartedly sharing your life with him, I think that would include your home and its expenses, not rent, living expenses you both share. But see, I feel like that's missing the point too, because they are married, so it's their house.
I'm not a lawyer, but I do. One of my friends is a divorce lawyer, so basically I'm an attorney. No, but I mean, I'm pretty sure like regardless of whatever semantics they want to call it, like it would probably still be some sort of a shared asset that would be up for grabs in a divorce. Yeah. So like, it doesn't really matter what label they ascribe, they both, this is their house.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to look at it that way and get all lawyery, but I just mean in terms of like, yeah, it's functionally your house. Like you both
Yeah.
partake
I
in
mean,
it and enjoying it, and you have otherwise shared finances. So if you were to sell a house, you would both benefit. Nikki W
yeah.
writes, NTA. The problem here is language. You call it rent. I would call it contributing to the household, as any spouse would if they are both working. That this actually might
Yeah.
be the term rent is maybe what set these kooky in-laws off.
Yeah, I mean, maybe also just call it like he's helping with the mortgage, or you're splitting the bond, or whatever the heck.
Yeah, whatever your freaky country calls it. Michelle L. Steiner M. echoing the same point. Don't call it rent. Husband or wife don't pay rent to each other. I think that's fair. I think that's the problem. Steiner says call it splitting the bills or something else. I mean, that's all this really is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm wondering why the in-laws freaked out so much.
I don't know. I think
Like, it's not
maybe
cruel to make your spouse pay rent. That seems, I don't know, whatever.
I would expect them to be like that if like there was a great difference. I mean, depending on how big this lottery was,
Mm-hmm.
there might be a big difference. But like he earns more than her, so it's kind of
Right.
like or him. I assume this is a woman. I don't know.
Yeah, I
So
assume too.
I don't know. I think this is an open and shut case here, but we'll read the top Reddit comment. Lace Rocks writes, NTA, he's contributing to the household funds. That's 100% normal. It's a little strange to call it rent. Bottom line, still the same. You aren't being unreasonable by asking to contribute, and he is doing it 100% willingly, so you have no reason to feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the husband is sticking up for this, and I think she had said in an edit or something that it was his idea. So I was like, all right, you have slam dunk, nothing to feel bad about. We're all good here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it always comes down to what is your agreement and how does it work and is it working for you, not what do
Mm-hmm.
other random people who have no business in it think.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, my girlfriend makes a lot more money and we made an agreement early on that I would pay the same rent that I would pay like had I not met her. And
Yes.
I think it was generous of her because we live in a very nice place. But
Totally.
on the other hand, like I'm also a bit of a what's the word I want? Someone who hoards all their money, a squirrel. I wanted to say a Scrooge McDuck, but
Oh, I know it.
I'm a bit of a money
I was
hoarder,
gonna say
so I'm not.
miserly.
Yeah, sure. I'm not going to spend a third of my income on my rent. I think that's crazy. If I didn't have
Right.
my girlfriend, I'd live in a $700 hut in Bushwick.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. I've heard of a lot of people do that because, like, again, and I'm kind of like you, where like my parents are, they're like, why don't you have a nicer apartment and stuff like that in a place that can actually be your home? I'm like, because I would just rather spend my money on other stuff.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me. So
It's all about what works for you people.
yeah,
AITA for making my husband pay rent. I think we agree wholeheartedly. NTA and the in laws are.
yeah, they're definitely being the assholes.
None of the business.